morning, everyone. We are live.
Yes, we are. It is Sunday morning, and it's an odd Sunday morning because we've got the clocks turned forward, which was interesting.
F that. I want my hour of sleep.
Nobody loves it. Nobody loves it. Shout out to everybody that's here. Before we get into it, we got a great Hustle and Motivate. I see Worry Warts out there. We missed that guy. We're going to get him on the show eventually. Crap, how the hell you doing this morning? But even though we lost an hour of sleep,
I'm tired. You know, I woke up a little bit. Wife kicked it out wide this morning, so at least I had that going for me, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that woke me up a little bit. But yeah, you know what? It's been a heck of a week, and you know, I always hate losing my hour of sleep. Though I got to be honest, I wish that they would just pick one or the other.
I know,
because it just always just feels so much later. To me, like, you know, now it just, I don't know, or it feels earlier than it should be right now. I just think that it's, I hate this thing, especially in Florida. You know, it pretty much was already kind of stays bright out for most of the day. So, you know, I don't like it, but you know, there's lots of gaming stuff to talk about.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's why people are here. Everybody hit the like button, damn it. You know, share it out, subscribe. Let's get Mooch some damn subscribers, please.
Same thing with Crap. Go over there and let's give some love to the MNC show and Nova.
What's going on?
Let's please.
A great Nova.
Thank you. You don't even need to give us money, just for a simple like a day. For, you know,
like a day.
Yeah, you can. I can wipe this dirt off my face, and
we could eat.
You know, afford to eat. Yeah.
Shout out to Ice Cream Gaming. I see her out there. Hustle boy. Great to see all the Mooch Maniacs out there this morning. Listen, guys, like Crap saying, go ahead and tweet that out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It's really appreciated. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, I know you guys have heard. Even from Crossfire, Crap's videos, we've talked about Bethesda and Xbox. We've got the 343 stuff that's been going down that I think a lot of people aren't really looking at. And then another situation, I had a conversation with a gentleman in the chat about the whole PS5 and the Series X comparisons are out there again. And there is some pros and cons to both consoles, okay? Discussing everything that's going on. There's some texture issues on certain things. There's better resolution on another one. There's better frame rate on another one. It kind of pogos back and forth, Crap. So there's a lot going on. Let me start with this much. Let me ask you this. What are you playing lately? Because I kind of want to tune into what game you've kind of been digging lately and what you're looking forward to possibly in the next month or two.
Well, I have been playing, mostly I've been trying to finish. I started Immortals Phoenix Rising. Have you ever heard of that?
I certainly have. What do you think about it?
I actually like it. I think it's pretty good. It's really well done. It's got an interesting art style, sort of Zelda Breath of the Wild-ish, right? So I know people probably will compare it to that. It was on sale, I think, for like $25 or something. I got it on Xbox. So, you know, it was on sale. Somebody gifted me on my birthday Crash 4, the on Xbox. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, you know what? I've only played the first couple of levels. It is so much fun. You know, it's different, Mooch. They do a retro type thing where you get lives. Okay. And then they do a modern thing where it's just you die, you pick up right where you left off. You know, I play the modern way. Yeah, I like that too. I was like, hey, this is perfect for me. You know, you for a platformer, I don't want to have to worry about lives and all. You know, it's 2021. That's one big improvement that I like. And this game looks and runs great. That was gifted to me on Xbox, so shout out to that dude for giving me that. You know, it's just really cool that, you know, I have some of these games to play. So even though that's like it got an Xbox Series X and a PS5 update just the other day. So I'm not playing old games technically. You know, it's well, I mean, I'm sure I will by the end of this year, I'm sure. But for right now, I'm mostly just playing newer stuff, and I've been enjoying the hell out of it. You know what I mean? I've been enjoying that. I'm looking forward to you know, playing Returnal. I'm looking forward to the Mass Effect collection. I think Outriders is something that I'm maybe leaning a little bit towards.
Into it, Crap. It's great. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna like it. There's some unique stuff. I do want to do a quick shout out, Crap, because I like what you're going with here. Shout out to Cool Hand Cruz. Cool Hand definitely has been helping out the show as well, and he does an outstanding job. One of Nova's right hand guys on Insomniac's podcast. Cool Hand. Shout out to Cool Hand Cruz. For the thumbnail this morning. Did an outstanding job helping Mooch out with that. We were kind of putting the show together last second here, and you know, that's at Cool Hand Cruz. You guys got to go check him out, man. Him and Nova really, really do amazing work. He did an outstanding job on yesterday's Scumcast with Luca. Shout out to Luca. And it was just a great show. You know, I like the Saturday afternoons. I'm always running around, but what makes all the errands that I'm running around doing a lot easier is listening to Scumcast and enjoying that show. And Cruz absolutely nailed it yesterday. So shout out to the man who helped us out. But you know, Crap, I'm gonna ride. Oh, go ahead, Nova. If you got something, please
I just wanted to add that me and Cool Hand were also on the Saltiest Gaming podcast this past Thursday, and we had a great time. So shout out to Salty as well.
Shout out to Salty. That's a great show as well. I love the cast that he has with Chris Righteous and Jez himself and WoolleyGamer, aka the Butcher. Love the crew that he's got assembled there. Just always keeping news like fun, fresh. But I got to be honest with you. So myself, crap, you just talked about it. I got to kind of talk about this. I'm very excited for Outriders, and I'm actually putting together. I've gone through the 3 of the 4 classes in depth. Now I have 1 more to go through. And then I'm making a video this week about, Outriders and my opinions on the classes and what you guys can kind of expect from my take. I think this game has the potential to be something. And what I mean by that, crap, is it's not going to be like a Destiny, okay, where it takes forever to level up and you can't keep up with the Joneses and, you didn't start, crap, so you totally missed out. You're not going to be able to do this or that. No. That's not what Outriders is about from what I'm picking up. It's going to be like and you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong here. Someone made this point to me. It's kind of almost like a Borderlands, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So it's got that Borderlands thing where you can play and level up and get more guns and features and strengths, etc., etc. But at the same time, you can always just like if you played Borderlands crap for 300 hours and I've never played it, and I want to play Borderlands 3 with you, I can play Borderlands 3 with you.
Yeah, I like that because that's like one of the things with Destiny, right? Like I could never play it with you guys. I've always kind of wanted to do a strike, right? But I've never done one. And I'm not leveled up. I don't have all the bullshit you need to actually do that. So for me personally, it's cool that you could kind of jump in. That's one of the things that I kind of liked about Sea of Thieves originally was that, I could play it. Let's just say I wanted to play it for a bunch and you didn't. You could still hop in and we can play it together. You know what I mean? I like that kind of deal. And I thought that, so I like that. Not only that, but I think that Outriders, what do you think about this rumor that it might be going day and date with Game Pass? Like, I feel like that's something that, do you pre-order it if you're not, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, listen, I have both. So, I mean, it would probably be a game that I maybe would get on PS5.
Yeah.
But if they're going to be, if they're going to be giving it away on Game Pass, hey, I think that's what we were talking about. Something like that, day and date, would be huge.
That's exactly what Game Pass needs. And it's funny because I want to, that's a great segue as well into the whole Bethesda Xbox thing. A lot of people are really, really excited about this, and rightfully so. But what we've been saying for a very long time is when Game Pass becomes something where you say, I've got to have it. I don't mean I, the hardcore. I mean I, the casual, is when you start to see games like, and I'm picking on Outriders. Outriders, a third-party game. Okay, Microsoft doesn't own them, doesn't own the IP, doesn't have anything, but pays the money to put that game in their day and date. Now, let me go back to your first question. Do I think it's Outriders? If you'd asked me this Friday afternoon when it was announced on the Twitter post from the Xbox Game Pass folks, I would have said yes. After talking to a lot of people and seeing what's going on, now I'm at about a 50-50. This could be Mass Effect.
It could be, but I think Mass Effect comes out in April.
Yeah.
But maybe that's enough time to let people know, hey, if you have Game Pass, you can play Mass Effect day one, right? Maybe that's what that is, giving people enough time. Whereas like Outriders might be a little bit different. See, I didn't know that Outriders had anomalies and signals. You know what I mean? Because those are kind of things that both Mass Effect and Outriders apparently have. So it's kind of interesting, and it does get people hyped.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of people are really hyped up about this, and I think that's great. Hey, good for people. Listen, this is a pandemic year still, believe it or not. Hey, maybe Sleepy Joe will let us all barbecue on the 4th of July. I don't know yet. It's crazy, right? But it'd be nice in the home of the brave and the home of the free to be able to barbecue and have a sparkler on the 4th of July. I'm just saying. But maybe, just maybe, we're going to get a game like Outriders. Like, I think that's the fact that there's games so far and few between, that this type of game that maybe would go under the radar a bit might get the kind of the sales and the kind of attention. Over 2 million played the beta or the demo, excuse me. So I think that could go a long way and maybe surprising people. So I think the game looks pretty good. I seen you played a little bit. I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
I played it quite a bit. I've got 2 full characters maxed. Well, when I say maxed out, please take that with a grain of salt, guys. I don't mean that I've put 250 hours in and I have all legendaries. I don't. I don't want to get bored of it before it comes out. I do have 2 maxed out. When I say maxed out, I think it's level 7 characters on PlayStation, and now I'm getting on Xbox. I have 3 now at level 5. So I'm just trying to get things started. I do like this game. I don't know what it is about it that I like about it so much, but I think it goes back to what you were saying a second ago. If this is a case where Xbox Game Pass crap gets a game like this, it's a big deal. I think this is a tremendous big deal. It's the reason that I myself personally would want to stay subscribed to the service. Not because I sit there and I go, well, I'm not going to buy a game, because you asked this too. Are you going to buy the game knowing it's going to be in Game Pass? Well, the answer to that question is yes, I will. Because I will probably buy the game. I'm not going to wait forever for it to land in Game Pass. Yeah. But I don't really do the whole pre-order thing very often. I really don't. So I don't really care about a skin or a detail you get for a pre-order. I typically don't care about that. So I buy the game on the day it comes out, generally. I don't care. But in this case, we'll know by the day it comes out whether or not it's in Game Pass. This is a big deal for Game Pass and for Xbox. Now, again, let's just pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes and take a step back. I'm not necessarily sure that this game's going in there. I think that this is probably Mass Effect, and I think it's because I spoke to, shout out to the great Paul Tassi, who works for Forbes, and he did an article actually on could Outriders be going into Game Pass, and he gave a lot of great scenarios. But one of the scenarios that you have to stop and think about is this. What is the detriment? What is the harm? Crap, you say this all the time too. What's the harm that's going to happen to Square and the developers, People Can Fly, with this game if people now are waiting on their hands? They're kind of waiting, sitting on their hands if this is going to go into Game Pass, where they were going to go and buy this game. That's not a good look. The developer probably doesn't like that in any case.
Yeah, I mean, that's
etc. Right? I mean, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I can remember like when when it was rumored that Cyberpunk might go into Game Pass day one or whatever, they were quick to say, no, we don't really have any plans for it. Same thing with like Control, which Control didn't go in for like, a year later or whatever. Right. So I really think that it kind of depends. Like if they're really, plan on doing it, I think that they should maybe make the announcement sooner rather than later, just so people like, listen, if you have it pre-ordered, I guess they might have to offer some kind of refund policy or something like that. I guess we'll have to see how that works. Like now Sony does that sometimes, like if they put a game out on PlayStation Plus and like there was a sale for it or something like that, and you picked it up, like there was that, what the hell is that shark game? You know the one I'm talking about, Maneater, right? People bought that because the PS5 version came out, and then they gave it away free. So they did end up offering refunds to people who had bought that for free or whatever. So yeah, I do think that that would be a kind of smart thing to do. But that's exactly the type of the type of stuff that I kind of wanted to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and shout out to Guapzilla. He says Outriders releases in 2 weeks. It'd be strange if it was coming to Game Pass with zero advertising. That's where I'm at. I think he's got a point there. First of all, even for Game Pass, let's forget about what we just said with the developer and the publisher. Let's talk about Game Pass. If you have this coming to Game Pass, that's a major reason to start bragging about it, not just using some kind of like odd tweet that's got hidden messages in it. You know what I mean? Like you want people to know that Outriders is coming to Game Pass day one.
Yeah, well, you have people talking about it though. I think that's not a bad thing.
It's not.
Right? I don't think there's not really
all press
bad
is
publicity.
Good press, they say, right? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, crap, you want to solidify that. If this deal's done, they're going to talk about it.
True. I think when are we supposed to hear something about it? Probably in the next couple of days, right?
You'd have to hear something this week. April 1st is when Outriders comes out. So we have to hear about it within the next,
hopefully not on April 1st, because that might be
April Fool's.
April Fool's Day. We all love April Fool's Day.
You do anyways. I know that.
Yeah. Hey, I have fun with that day on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it's a day where people really kind of fall for a lot of stuff, and I just find that to be funny. I don't know. I like doing that kind of stuff. So you know what I mean. But hey, everybody that's watching, please hit the like button, share it out.
Please.
Let everybody know. We know it's a rough morning. A lot of people. It is like setting that clock forward, man. Woo!
Listen,
takes
that's
it out of you.
Fun. And you know what? Too, I'll just tell the audience this. So we've been on and off with MNC, and now we're getting our rhythm back. 2 Sundays ago we were here. Then we did the last Sunday. We actually moved to a Wednesday. We did the Jaffe interview, and now here we are back on Sunday. So we've got
that was something back. Off the rails. If you guys didn't check that out,
go check that out.
By all means, go check that out. That guy, you can't. you can only hope to contain Jaffe. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like that's exactly what you know what I mean. That guy was crazy. Absolutely. But hey, shout out to Nova, because Nova was in there too, and Nova's a good sport. Yeah, Nova, you were a really good sport with that as well, because he was like,
I had to take them punches up. I'm used to Jaffe by now, so once I saw him, it was his show, so I let him rock.
Nova's got a frozen bag of peas still on his forehead from that.
He
event.
does, man. It's great.
Nova,
so.
I felt like I was in Nova's corner. I'm like, slip the jab, Mick. You gotta go. No, sorry, I watched a lot of Rocky over the weekend.
No, dude, you can never go wrong, man. My favorite series, man.
Right,
I love Rocky.
Love Rocky. But nonetheless, I want to say shout out to Broken Games, who's here. I really appreciate him stopping by the show and watching, checking us out, and supporting the channel, and also the WoolleyGamer. AKA Butcher.
Shout out,
Woolley.
Absolutely.
He goes, crap, how's your hand supposed to be sore after that annihilation? Right? As for Outriders, he says, is the tier cap 5? I can't get past it. I believe the tier cap for the demo
It carries over, though, right?
It does carry over.
That's awesome.
It does carry over, yes. Robzilla, he says, y'all been busy this week. He goes, great week of content from Mooch, Crap, and Nova. Thank you very much for recognizing that. I appreciate it. Guys, please do tweet it out. Let everybody know that we are live. Like I said, we have the odd thing going on with the forward clocks for daylight savings, and we are just getting our rhythm back on Sunday morning, so we appreciate that. And actually, Nova's got a surprise for everybody out there. Nova, his complete PC setup is now ready to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe by next week. I don't want to put you on a clock. I don't put you on the clock, Nova, but possibly next week or the week after, we'll have a new set and everything kind of it's going to look even better than it already does. So shout out to the great Nova for that.
It's coming. Yeah, for sure.
Let them know. Let them know
what Mooch is saying. Yes. So the MNC show will be seeing a revamp. Same thing with the Insomniac show that's coming back this upcoming week. So yeah, just be on the lookout. Our content is going to be fresh for you guys. And also MNC, enjoy a new look. And we're going to be bringing back voicemails this time for real, guys. So make sure to...
that'll be great.
Yeah, leave us some voicemails once we get to that.
That's a big part of the show that me and Crap, we got to kind of bring up again with Nova solidifying the fact that it's coming back. That's a big part of this. We really want to hear from you guys, and when we have that up and running, hopefully within the next 7 to 10 days, when we have that running, we will let everybody know on Twitter and give you the appropriate location to leave your voicemail. We really want to hear what you guys have to say on different topics that happen throughout the week. That being said, let's talk about our first topic here, Crap. We kind of just dusted over the top of it. But I do think that we should talk about the Bethesda, Xbox deal. And what this does, this isn't necessarily, I think you said it just before the show went live, and you said it on Friday as well. Maybe this deal means a lot to some people right now, but I think to even the non-believers, this deal means something even maybe 2-3 years from now, once Bethesda Studio starts to get their gears in motion and their games start to pump out. This is really is it gonna bolster Game Pass in a recognizable way?
I think once they start getting the new Elder Scrolls and the new Fallouts, and I think those are gonna be the first real big type of things. I don't think it's gonna mean possibly as much with some of the older titles or something like that. But I do think like Starfield, if that's exclusive, I feel like that could be a huge boon for them. Like I think the big thing will be we don't know anything about that game yet. So, we have to actually wait and see what that game's about, how it turns out. But I do think, having a new IP out there, never a bad thing. And I think that it being in Game Pass could definitely help. Listen, a lot of people want to compare Game Pass to, Disney Plus or Netflix and all that kind of stuff. And the best thing that I can say is, or even like Amazon, right? So Amazon gets a big boon because people love The Boys, right? So you got to have those killer things in there that get everybody talking. Okay, you look at Disney. I mean, damn, Mandalorian, WandaVision. Like stuff that really gets people talking. And great content gets people in there. Netflix, it's like Stranger Things, and they do a lot of other stuff on there as well. So it's really the content that drives the subscription. So I could see that they want to get to a point where they don't have to offer dollar deals. Let's just be real. They want to get to a point where everybody's paying $10 or $15 or whatever it is a month, and they're just playing the content. And I think that that's probably the goal for them. So I think that this gets people excited. Like, okay, I was like, I had my Xbox Series X pre-ordered anyway, but then they announced it, they bought Bethesda. That made me excited about that. Absolutely. And then I thought about it a little bit, and I'm like, well, it doesn't really do anything for right now. Like, this announcement doesn't really do much for right now, because, I'm not a huge Bethesda guy, but, something new like Starfield, I'd give that a chance. If it like Deathloop, that looks really good. So maybe Deathloop 2 will be an exclusive, and that'll be a cool thing for Xbox, right? Because that looks like much more my alley how Deathloop is more like a shooter than say, and I believe Arcane is doing that, right? And Arcane also did what the hell did they do? They've done a couple other things.
They've done Prey.
Yeah,
they've done Prey. They've done Dishonored.
Dishonored 1 and 2, right?
Absolutely.
Like I don't like standard first-person shooter games that aren't like shooters.
I got a question. I got to ask you a question. Yeah. Okay, I'll almost step out of my Mooch shoes here. Now I'm the public. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You've got all these games now that are in Game Pass. You have Game Pass.
Yeah.
So you take a game like Prey or Dishonored, and I know that you have strong feelings on some of them in either way, positive or negative, but hear me out. Is this a situation where you say, okay, here's some games that I normally would never have picked up? I just wouldn't. It's not your bag. Would you try a game now that it's there? Would you try Prey? Would you try? I know you don't like Dishonored. I actually, myself personally, there's a lot of games in there that I think that Microsoft got in this deal right away when those 20 that dropped the other day that are fantastic. I've been on record saying I've just never been a Dishonored fan. That's a me problem. I get it. That's a me problem. There's a lot of people that love it. On the other hand, I love Prey, and everyone thinks I'm crazy there. Would you try any of these now that they're in there? I mean, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people that enjoy Game Pass. They say, Mooch, it's not that you're wrong in what you're saying, but I like to have the fact that there's this library of games where maybe I wouldn't have ever played them, but maybe now because they're there and I pay for it, I might try it. Is there anything crap that you've kind of scrolled through with this new acquisition and said, you know what? I never would have picked this thing up. Never, not even on sale, but I'll try it.
Well, I mean, maybe Prey, right? Like, I think the original...
I think you wouldn't mind that, to be honest.
Yeah, the original 360 game, I don't know if you ever played that, but I beat that game.
Play that one.
It was interesting. It was kind of wild. I know this one's nothing like that. I don't know. Like, it was crazy. It was
play the new. See, I didn't play the old one. You did.
Yeah.
I played the new one.
It was about aliens. You know, you get abducted by aliens, and there's like it was kind of crazy, but it was kind of fun. It wasn't a super long game or anything, but it was okay. So maybe Prey. Like I've seen that game on sale a lot, but it's like Dishonored. I think I have the physical version of that. I picked it up for like $3 or $4 one day. I don't really have again, like I like first person shooters. Like Deathloop looks more like a shooter to me. Like I like that. But I don't like first person, like other type of games. You know what I mean? It kind of, it's not, I don't really like that. So for me personally, I think that like Dishonored probably wouldn't appeal to me, but if somebody's really interested in that, hey, good for you. You know what I mean? I think that that's what it's there for, and I did see a lot of people go, oh, well, I'm going to play this or I'm going to play that. And I think that's great. Play those games if you want
Absolutely.
to. Like, listen, we're in a pandemic. There's not going to be a ton of games like usual this year.
That's right.
And, so you might play something that you haven't before. You might find your next favorite game or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, everybody's different.
That makes a good point. Crap. And there's nothing wrong with going back and trying some of these games. I do want to say shout out to Mizzle T. Shizzle. Shout out to Mizzle. I know who that is, too. He says, thanks for doing M&C. Anyone excited for Stubbs? I don't know what Stubbs
the Zombie.
Huh?
You never heard of Stubbs the Zombie?
Is it a movie?
No, it's a game. It was an original it was an original Xbox game.
Okay.
And now
me, crap, please.
Yeah, and it was kind of fun and like you know what I mean? And now it's like they're remastering it and it's going to be on like Xbox, PlayStation, I think even Switch.
It's probably not going to be my bag even though I'm a zombie guy, but I will check it out.
It's more
what would you relate it to?
Damn, it's really kind of more of a third person kind of action game.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, originally it came out I think in like 2005 or something like 2004 maybe.
Okay,
something along those lines. It was original Xbox game, but yeah, it was very interesting. And now I guess it's going to be a game on like the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of like a comedy type, like a little bit of a comedy. Okay. It's called Stubbs the Zombie Rebel Without a Pulse. So
yeah, I mean that's kind of like those. What was that other Phil Spencer game that he really liked that they redid there with the
Voodoo Vince?
Voodoo Vince. It's got like that comical spin with a little bit of a cartoony character. Is that the same situation here with Stubbs?
Kind of. And Stubbs the Zombie, the player plays as a zombie. The primary goal is to kill humans and devour their brains. Eating brains gives back a certain amount of lost health to players as well as converting those humans into zombies, causing them to fight alongside the player.
You know, they're all like these Mars Attacks video games. You know what I mean? Where it's
it's like there was a game like that. I played the remaster of it. What the hell was it? Destroy All Humans. That game was actually really fun. I played the remake of that before.
I heard a lot of people liked it.
Yeah, before the launch of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, I played the remake, and it's fantastic. It looks great. It's fun. It's kind of comical, you know, kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Like there were a couple things I didn't like there were some escort missions and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool game. And as far as I never played the first one, so I mean, I think this game's going to be like $15-20 or something. I don't think it's going to be a very expensive game or anything like that. But yeah,
maybe you can help me with this next super chat. I'm not sure what the gentleman's referring to. He's Elanchus Returns. He says, we know Sony saw and was willing to pay for Starfield exclusivity. All you need to know, that game is going to be fire. So was he? I mean,
Sony tries to get exclusivity
for
a lot of games. I mean, but we don't know. Even Jim Ryan said he doesn't know. You know exactly what the deal is with Starfield, right? He said he doesn't know if that's a.
I thought we really kind of nailed it. And shout out to Dreamcast guy. He said it, and I just kind of that's what I've been kind of thinking myself the whole time is if this game is in fact crap, Starfield we're talking about coming out in 2021, I would guess. Okay, everybody take it easy in the audience. I would guess that it's coming to PS5 as well. Because it's already been developed. I mean, the game is, if it's coming out in 2021, for all practical purposes, no, they didn't go gold yet. But if it is coming out in 2021, it's practically done. I mean, the game is near completion. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I still think it'll probably come out next year, but I still think that.
Okay, so if it comes out next year, do you think it comes out on PS5? Crap.
No, I think that they took away the PS5 logo off of it. Mm-hmm. Like there originally was a PS5. I think that that they probably realized that Game Pass needs some exclusive content, and a lot of their stuff is further out than they would like, thanks to the pandemic and stuff like that. So I think that it comes out probably maybe next year, and I think it'll be an Xbox exclusive, and I think that that could be the start of something good for them. You know what I mean? Like you always kind of have that hope that it could be like that could be the start of what they're hoping for. We don't know what else is going to come out. Like how close is Hellblade 2 to releasing? How close is Forza Motorsport to releasing? Like some of the stuff is a little bit further out. Avowed supposedly could have been a 2022 late release or 2023. I mean, I'm still thinking 2023 for that. Fable's probably 2023. Perfect Dark probably 2023 or 2024. It's like again, so they need stuff to kind of fill out their slate, and you have to keep people in Game Pass happy. You know what I mean? And so I think absolutely you really have to kind of have like these games to get people excited. And I think that is a game that will get people excited, begrudgingly or not. I mean, Microsoft doesn't really care one way or the other. Like, how you play it. Like maybe you can play it on PC, or maybe you can play it by an Xbox. Like I don't know, but to me, they have a $300 entry point at Xbox. They don't care if you play it on an S. They don't care if you play it on a. They don't care how you play it. I think the main thing is just that you play it, and I think that's exactly.
I guess I can't blame them on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. I think that's exactly what the idea behind this whole thing is: get people interested in Game Pass. That's what Microsoft's end goal for everything.
Game Pass is Xbox.
Game Pass, yeah.
Game Pass is Xbox. That's period. That's. It's not even a reverse situation or a slogan. That's it. I do want to say shout out to Saltiest Gaming. Saltiest here, appreciate that. Salt over there in Arizona saying, "You guys and your clocks forward and backwards. We just sit here and keep the right time." All the time. So shout out to Salt in Arizona out there. The Butcher Show, he says, this is a great question, by the way. Shout out to the Butcher Show. He says, what is the maximum a month you'd pay for Game Pass? He says his limit would be $25. Now, it's interesting. You hear him say that, and you think, that's a lot of money. But you know what? When you're actually talking about it in the same retrospect that we've been, where is your limitation? And let me do this much. Let me just make the super chat make a little bit more sense for the conversation.
$15.
I would say how much would you pay for Game Pass Ultimate? Let me change it to Ultimate.
I'm not paying no $20 for that. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not going to
$20. You're not going to go to $20 for including Gold and Game Pass a month. That's not happening for you. Period.
No. I would just rather play. Yeah, I would just rather just pay for gold for 60 for the year or whatever. Like, to be honest with you, because I don't use Game Pass enough to really kind of warrant that.
Well, okay, but crap, that's fine. But I got to put you in the right scenario here. Okay, I'm saying now Bethesda's got 2-3 games out, and Microsoft has a few games out. It's the middle of 2022, like you said. Our Game Pass Ultimate subscription runs out sometime between June and August of next year in 2022. So at that point, there will be first-party games from Microsoft in there. Okay, now, do we know them all? No. You don't see yourself possibly sticking around to see what's happening, and that's going to include your gold, and it's going to give you all your games on the go and the whole nine. That's not intriguing at all. How about the $9.99 regular Game Pass entry fee?
Well, I don't have gold for that, so you know what I mean. Like, I think regular. I think $10. I think that's a fair price. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're like, in tune with that. Okay.
Yeah, I like the prices right now are good for what they're offering you, right? And then they're not gonna continue to offer you stuff like maybe put Ubisoft games in there too and this kind of stuff without raising the price at some point. So I don't really think that no way Warrior Crackdown 4 Electric Boogaloo. Crackdown is dead. That game is dead. I don't really think we're gonna see any more Crackdown. I don't know. I just think that they really they blew that game for themselves, in my opinion, right? Like that game needed a refresh, like into modern age in terms of like, I guess, the storytelling and the movements and stuff like that. And it didn't really have that. See, some people might be willing to pay $19.99 a month, right? But for me, you're looking at almost $250 a year, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, if you're a gamer that only buys 2 or 3 games a year, that's still cheaper to buy the 2 or 3 games a year at that point.
Right. You know, that's my concern when it comes down to it. A lot of people that are on the Xbox front are saying basically you're going to want Bethesda games, you're going to want our first party games, you're going to want Game Pass. Okay, so if that's the case, I can't argue with that. I just can't argue with that because if you are a Bethesda lover and you love the Halo, the Gears, the Forza, and what's coming down the road in Fable, etc., that we just talked about, you really can't beat that deal, even at the $240 mark. If it was to go to $20, of course, we're talking hypothetically here, guys, because everything does go up, but $180 now a year for all. But yeah, you're right. I mean, now the other thing is though, if you're a Fortnite, you play Fortnite, Warzone, and I'm just trying to think here, Apex, anything that's those free games. Maybe your family just plays Roblox. I don't know. That's free. Maybe Game Pass really isn't for that family. And it depends. That's the thing. Has Game Pass reached the casual market yet? That's something that we don't know. We could sit here and say yes and no. We'll find out in the near future. Monkey Power, shout out to Monkey Power in the Super Chat. He says, why have we not got a Hunter the Reckoning remake? There you go, Craig.
I never even heard of that game.
Neither did I, but that's... Yeah. I thought maybe you might have
probably because we haven't heard of it.
Yeah, so, not yet. Not yet.
I did see a good question in there from...
go ahead.
Hold on, Mr. Twister.
Yeah, Mr. Twister's right here. He says, if Microsoft keeps acquiring these big publishers / studios, then Game Pass might actually work. However, what happens to them if Game Pass doesn't deliver? Mr. Twister with an outstanding question.
That is an outstanding question. They're done. Right. I just got to be honest. They're done. The minute that they the minute that Game Pass isn't going to be a thing or wouldn't be successful, and I'm not being negative about this because I think it will be successful. It's already starting to go that way. I just think that the minute that Xbox is in a service and they can't treat it as such, that they're done with it, right? They spin it off or they do something with it, and then it kind of eventually goes the way of the dodo. I think that all their eggs are in this basket. They're not done buying stuff. Look, they need hits and more hits and another hit, right? Yes. They really need to keep us. Let's look at, like I said, Disney Plus. It's like the WandaVision's over, but here comes the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Right? And then you're gonna have the Boba Fett show and Mandalorian season 3, right? Like, they are. Boba Fett show.
It's got a hell of a ring to it. Sorry,
it does. So they need those hits. They need. Hey, Mooch, I want to say something. Snakes. He messaged me. He says he's banned on the chat. He's typing stuff in, but I can't see it. Well, you might be able to see it, or see if you can unban him.
Let me see if I can do that. Can you do me a favor in our Twitter? Just send me what his name is, and I'll find him and unban him. I apologize to Snakes. I don't know how that happened, but we'll get
his name is blank space snakes.
Just type it. That ain't gonna work for me. Yeah, we're live, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. 1 second. I think it's a. Is that a letter O? It might be a lowercase O.
I think it's a lowercase O underscore. I know he is. I didn't ban him. That wasn't me. Oh. So we'll get him back.
Yeah, a grumpy old man banned him.
That's okay.
That's his name. I typed it in the chat.
All right. Thank you very much, Crap.
I can't see him, but you know what I mean. Like I think maybe. You might be able to.
First of all, I love anyone with snakes, right? Snakes! I don't know no snakes. We're getting snakes back in here. So, is there an underscore between the O and the snakes?
No. I'm looking at it right now because he's like, I messaged him. He messaged me.
I need to know his YouTube name to get him back is the whole thing. But I will try to find him.
It's O Snakes O.
I don't know if that's necessarily it, but.
Look, you know what I'll do? Because like he sent me a thing with him pointing in. Look, I'll send you the screenshot.
Yeah, could you just send
me? I'm sending it. Yeah, I'm sending it right now.
If you're listening, this isn't very difficult. I'll make it very easy for you. Just send me or send Crap a picture of your YouTube page.
He did. He sent me it,
okay,
and I just
send me that picture so I can see.
Yeah, I just did. It's in the MNC Twitter chat.
I see. Okay, there it is. I will find snakes. Yeah, I know snakes. Okay, great. I know no snakes. All right, so there we go. We'll get snakes back in here. But yeah, so Crap, go ahead. Let's talk a little bit more about this situation because it is a big deal when it comes down to it. Shiesty Gaming says, I think eventually they will have Game Pass only exclusives so that you have to subscribe since they couldn't raise the price of gold. So Shiesty, that's Crap. We got to talk about that. Because this is where Microsoft, I said this in my video. Guys, by the way, shameless plug, I did a video the other day, and it was great. It was just it was before the announcement, before the roundtable between Xbox and Bethesda, and I was just giving my opinion. But that's what Shiesty Gaming is talking about here in the super chat that I want to bring up. And that is Microsoft can now say, hey, let's use Halo Infinite, for example. There's Halo Infinite, and it's going to be $70, Crap. Oh, I don't want to pay $70. Okay, no problem. Pay $10 a month. Or $10 for 1 month, play the game, and you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you like it, you become a lifetime subscriber to Game Pass. If not, you don't. But I mean, do you see how they can play good cop, bad cop, and they're the ones making the rules for both? It's an interesting ploy.
Yeah, there was a rumor,
tag, right? I mean, it's a great move.
There was a rumor that that possibility that they might introduce tiers, like maybe one level of Game Pass doesn't get the day and date big exclusives, right? Maybe there's a tier of that where you can just have access to the older games, and maybe a tier of it does let you get the big stuff day and date. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think. Could be a situation. Like that was a rumor, so we'll have to wait and see how that kind of works out. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, I mean, what's your? I mean, is that something that they can try to pull off, or they're not going to?
Why not? You could have 3 tiers of Game Pass, right? A tier of Game Pass, it's like $10, where you can have access to all the older games and stuff like that, and maybe stuff after a certain period of time, right? And then you have the Ultimate, and maybe have Super Ultimate, where you get access to EA Play and the Ubisoft deal and all that kind of stuff. Like I think that could be something that they do, because I do think they're going to try to get rid of like the gold itself at some point, right?
Yeah, they want you to just get Game Pass Ultimate. That's what they want.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably what they'll probably do at some point. So,
do you think they'll be able to pull it off though?
I don't see why not. I mean, there's some people that might not be interested in, maybe they just want to play 250 old games, or have that option or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you can get Hulu for whatever it is, $10 a month, but if you want to get Hulu Live TV, it's like $50 a month.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I think it could be like I pay for the Live TV. That's my cable service, right? Yeah. So I think it really just depends on how you kind of want to do things, and really that's exactly what I foresee them doing in the future. You know what I mean? I could definitely see them pulling that off. They're going to pull some kind of slick thing, because they still got to announce that the free-to-play games are free-to-play, right?
Right.
At some point this year. Remember, they're like, hey, we're going to have free-to-play games.
That's going to happen. They're going to have to remove that paywall. But crap, do you think that we're going to see Game Pass on Nintendo Switch or the PS5 in the future?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
A lot of people are talking about this because of, Phil's statements that these will be exclusive to Game Pass.
Yeah. The reason why I don't think that they're going to do that is because if you look at what Game Pass is, and it has third-party stuff on there. But you look at, okay, so let's take, for instance, Ubisoft stuff, okay? Ubisoft games sell, I think, 40% are sales on PlayStation platforms. Okay. And Sony gets, a huge cut of that, 30% or whatever it is, right? And that's a huge thing for them. Why would they give that up? Or let's say EA games like Madden. Madden sells way better on PlayStation than Xbox. So why would they give up Madden sales if Madden is included in EA Play? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they're not going to give up their big money, their big third-party multiplats and stuff like that money that they would make to do that. And then you would also have to figure you have to fully allow Xbox Live on your platform and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really see that happening, especially with Sony.
No, Sony especially as well. I just don't see that happening. Shout out to WoolleyGamer. He says, if Game Pass goes for a premium model, I would 100% advocate for it. He says, because it facilitates premium big budget AAA quality like Disney Plus with premier access. So yeah, I agree with Wooly there. I really do. I mean, if that's the kind of content they're going to provide, the premium model, then I would definitely get behind that. And that's what you were saying, crap. Like right after WandaVision, there's this show, then there's this show, then there's this show. If there's just high caliber premiere after premiere and it's top notch, you can't really argue with that. You really can't. And I want to take a second here to just say shout out to everybody that's here and thank you. Please do hit the like button. Please do tweet it out, everybody. You guys have so many people that follow you on Twitter and social media. Let them know we're live. Let them know that we're here every Sunday morning. We appreciate it. Shout out to JD Gamer. He says hits: Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Skyrim, Fallout, and likely hits: Halo, Perfect Dark, Fable, Forza, Gears, Hellblade, Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Starfield. Can't really argue with JD there. I can't argue with him. I mean, that's a nice lineup, JD. Now, JD, now you're coming around. And it's funny because JD, shout out to JD Gamer, who's been coming to the show for years. And, I said this a long time ago. And when we say it, people hear it and they don't like to hear it. And then they say, that's not true, Mooch. This is what we've been saying all along. We need games of high caliber, day and date.
Yeah.
Day and date. And now we're getting that. That's great.
I think it's great too.
Wanted.
Yeah.
It's all I've wanted.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I wasn't excited when Cyber Shadow showed up day and date. Or Mooching Craft Adventures.
Call of the Sea. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm just being honest. Descenders.
Yeah. Right?
You know what I mean? Like that stuff. Yeah. Like, listen.
The Escapists.
Yeah. Like that stuff doesn't really intrigue me. And I'm not saying that they're bad games.
They're not bad games, but I'm not excited. I'm not like, you don't get done with a hard day's work and you're like, I'm going home tonight and finally putting my feet up on the coffee table, making my favorite drink, and I'm going to dive right into the Escapists. What? It's like, that's the so now we're there. We're getting there, crap.
And Snakes linked you his YouTube channel. So now I said, Snakes linked you his YouTube channel.
Did he? Thank you. I know because I wrote him on Twitter. I could not find it. So let me find where.
Yeah, I couldn't either. But yeah, that does suck. That's why I hate, like, unless you're really being a douche, man. There's no real need in banning people.
No, absolutely. We want to hear people's opinions. I mean, but if you're going to constantly be, not great, you got to be great.
Yeah.
I'm working on. Why don't you go ahead and crap and discuss some of the super chats for a second? I'm just trying to get Snakes back in here.
Okay. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm going to answer some of these super cat questions. Make sure you guys get them in if you got any questions. Let's see. Monkey Power says, what Xbox studio compete with Naughty Dog? I think potentially the Doom team. Here's the thing. When you talk about Naughty Dog, what's their thing? So they pay really close attention to details, right? Like even before ray tracing and stuff was a thing, they had a situation where you could see like reflections in glass and and the animations are great. And so, but their narratives are so brilliant. I think that id Software could do something because they do stuff with great great graphical fidelity. They do stuff with great like frame rates, like Doom. I played Doom from 2016.
Yes.
Smooth gameplay. I'm assuming that Doom Eternal is the same way. Super smooth gameplay, 60 FPS, great graphics, right? But the story,
that was the footage. It was fantastic.
Yeah, but the story, absolutely crap. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, crap. How many games have you really played? You could probably count them on one hand that had just an immense story that wrapped you into it, and it had the mechanics and gameplay of. I mean, how many games have that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like Killzone games, right? Those games looked great back in the day.
Yeah.
The stories were crap. You know what I mean? I think the best. Yeah, they were really bad.
I thought
you look at Crysis, right? Crysis 1, 2, and 3.
Another one.
Those games look brilliant, but they're just so boring and crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest difference. You know what I mean? So for me anyway, that's sort of how I think about this. And, I think that I don't think that they could ever compete with Naughty Dog in the way that Naughty Dog does Naughty Dog games. I just think Naughty Dog's on their own level. I think it's like Naughty Dog and, Rockstar Games and kind of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my opinion. Look, you might have been able to put CD Projekt Red in there at a particular point, but I don't think anymore.
Right. No, I completely agree. Now, I don't know if you got to it, crap. The good news, everybody, I know everyone, please rest assured, Snakes is now with us and will stay with us. So shout out to Snakes. Snakes, welcome back to the show. Did you read Shiestyist Gaming's second super chat, crap, or you didn't get to it? I apologize. I know you read.
I didn't.
He says here, what actually, I think he means what I actually mean. He says, what I actually mean is you have to subscribe to play the game, no physical, not playing anywhere else for like 6 months to a year. Okay, are you again? So I apologize. Maybe there's a language barrier here, but Shiesty, if I'm picking up what you're putting down here, I think you're saying that the games that at least have to come into Game Pass and they have to stay there for anywhere from 6 months and not have a physical release anywhere. It's exclusive to Game Pass for that time. And now I don't know if you're talking about first party games or if you're talking about situations like Outriders, where it's a third party game and that would have a 6 month exclusivity. I don't know if that's where you're referring to or not, but either way, I think Game Pass does have to have that solidified and locked down, so it lets customers know that that's the only place to play. That makes a huge deal, crap. That's a big deal. When you say this is the only place, listen, we've been saying this forever. Exclusives are important. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but it's true.
Yeah.
It is so true. And it's the reason that you see Sony not put their games all over the place. They're doing it on their platform, and then years later, they put it on PC. Will that change? We don't know. We don't know. Maybe. I don't think it'll happen in the next couple of years. But by the end of this generation, or the PS6, if you will, maybe they will do a day and date. Maybe PS Now, like you said, crap, they're going to revamp PS Now.
Yeah.
They're going to redo it. And now when they redo it, what does that mean? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means.
I agree.
No idea.
I don't really know. I think it really kind of depends. Oh, look, there's those Snakes showing some love.
Absolutely. So, shout out to the great Percolator 9000. Also says, I think Super Chat's working. Thank you very much, Percolator. He says, I just got here. Pineapple belongs on pizza. It's great.
Hell yeah.
I think Percolator might still be in some kind of a trance, or he's still sleeping.
No, pineapple is great on pizza. You know what the best way I'll be honest with you. A lot of people don't like warm pineapple. Put it on after the pie is done. You'll thank me later. It is absolutely
You're saying
great.
warm pineapple on a pizza?
No, you take the pineapple that's cold.
Okay.
And then you put that on a warm pizza, and then you eat it.
Why would you do something like that to yourself?
Oh, it's so good, man. It is so good. I absolutely have to say it's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it.
It's like punching yourself in the thigh. It makes no sense. Listen, I don't get it. I really don't. I don't want strawberries. I don't want fruit on the pizza.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself to just agree.
Go ahead,
with you,
Nova.
Mooch. No, I'm sorry, crap. I know there's a certain breed of people out there, and you guys like the pineapple on the pizza, but I don't see it. I'm with Mooch there.
I can't do it.
Oh, come on, you guys!
Sorry,
pineapple
Mooch.
pizza is amazing.
Crap, think about it for a second. Okay, so let me say this much. Let's put a settle to this. Let's just settle this. So, crap, you walk into a pizza place for the rest of your life, and they say, Mr. Crap Gamer, okay, you have 2 toppings that you can have for the rest of your life on pizza. Now, you don't have to use them, but that's all you're allowed for the rest of your life. What 2 toppings are you choosing?
I'm probably choosing extra cheese and pineapple, baby. Woo!
Oh,
Bring
man.
it!
Wow, you really bought into that one.
Bring it.
I feel awful for the family that you have to bring that pizza home to.
Well,
First of all, extra cheese. You know, extra cheese, by the way, guys, just so you guys know from a New York standpoint, extra cheese is the biggest joke in the pizza business ever.
Because how do you know you're getting extra cheese,
How do you know
right?
you got extra cheese? You never know.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
literally paying $2-3 for what? What seems to be extra cheese? You don't even know.
Yeah. You don't. The
Don't
thing is that you have to remember
cheese.
is I don't eat cow and I don't eat pig, so
That's a problem.
That does limit what. Yeah,
I don't know. What,
like here's the thing. I like. Well, dude, when I eat, like we'll make homemade pizza here a lot.
Absolutely.
And I like turkey pepperoni. I like turkey pepperoni. You know what I mean, or turkey sausage. Like like that. That's how I like. If they'll make it with turkey pepperoni or something, I'll eat it. Like I love that, but. For me personally, and I know it's weird, I don't push this and I don't harp on it, but it's just how I am. You know what I mean? Like I've been this way for a long time. I'm 39 years old. I'm a big guy, but people will probably be surprised. My overall cholesterol is 156. You know what I mean? I don't like these are things that I've avoided pretty much my whole life. I've eaten steak maybe once my entire life when I was younger.
Oh,
probably in my teen years. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't eat red meat.
What do you do when you see all these great photos on Twitter? All these people barbuing.
They look gross, man. I see. They look.
I stop by and enjoy the picture.
It grosses me out.
Oh,
it's like they're like, look at this big slab of ribs, and I'm like, you know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? Like I understand it, but it's like my wife, she loves fungus, and I hate fungus. Like mushrooms are like. Gross, yeah.
Well, you can't call it fungus. You gotta call it mushrooms.
Yeah, well, it's fungus. It's gross, and it just
By the way,
I don't know. To me, is just
this derailed portion of gaming was brought to you by the great Percolator 9000. Thank you, Percolator.
Yes, thank you, Percolator. Hey, we don't even got sports to talk about. Football season's over.
I miss sports, by the way. Shout out to Snakes. He says, "I'm sorry for the interruption of the show." One of the mods who disagreed with me banned me almost 2 years ago. Well, Snakes, listen, anybody who's out there, if you guys get a hold of Crap, get a hold of me on Twitter. If you've been banned, like I said, as long as everything is great and you guys are having fun in the chat, I'll definitely unban you, buddy. It's not a problem. JWE, who's a Mooch Maniac, 316, he says, I thought exclusives didn't matter to Xbox fans. So did we, JWE.
Hey, listen, this is what I always say, right? No matter which platform you prefer, okay, and let's just be real here. What's going to be best is whatever your favorite platform does at that particular time, right? Look, the beginning of the PS4 versus Xbox One era, power mattered because PS4 PlayStation fans, because PS4 had 1080p in the power, right? Once it was to Xbox's advantage, it didn't matter anymore. When Xbox had exclusive games at the beginning of last generation and PlayStation didn't, exclusives mattered, but they didn't matter to PlayStation fans, right? So whatever matters really just depends on what your particular fan company is doing best, right? And again, that's life. Like people just tend to do that. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it personally, honestly, because it's going to change, right? Like it just is. It's going to continually change, and it's just one of those things where we have to kind of get used to it and just kind of laugh about it because that's true. If let's just say Sony decides to come out with a mid-gen refresh that's more powerful, and Microsoft doesn't come out with a mid-gen refresh. PlayStation fans are going to be like, power, 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 right? Because they're going to have the power. Okay? That's just, if Xbox doesn't like fans, Xbox fans say they don't like Metascore, Meta who, and this, right? I guarantee you, if, Valve or Fable get a 90+ and win the game of the year, they'll care.
Absolutely.
Of course they'll care. Just like Microsoft, right? Look, Microsoft. They're like, we're not going to announce our sales. We're not going to announce our users. We're not going to announce Game Pass subscribers until they're like fucking 18 million. And then they're going to announce them. You know what I mean? Like if it looks good, they're going to announce it.
Game Pass gets to 25 million subscribers. They'll scream it from the top of a mountain.
Josh says, crap, I agree. But he goes, crap, I agree. But people should stick to their guns and you can change your opinion, but don't flip. Listen, everybody's human. When did we get to this point where you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just totally don't understand that thought. It's not flip-flopping. These are inanimate objects. These are things for our enjoyment. I enjoyed Xbox immensely at the beginning of last generation. They started to kind of give up And PlayStation really came into their own with their exclusives. That doesn't mean that I hate that I flip-flopped or hate Xbox. Back up,
crap. There was a lot of people when Endgame, you remember when Avengers Endgame came out? I remember a lot of people saying, because they were comparing it to what? Infinity War. A lot of people thought Endgame didn't hold up. And guess what? Now that they've watched it a few times, I know people that said that they didn't like Endgame. Now they think Endgame's the best Avengers movie out there. So did they flip-flop? Listen, times change. You get accustomed to certain things. There's things that you want from one product that you may not be getting. And then when the product does deliver, you go back and say, I like it. Because they're doing what you want as a consumer. It holds water, folks. It holds water. Shout out to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. He says PCMR, best gaming platform. Woo! Gotta throw one of those in there for you, crap. Go ahead.
Listen, you don't gain extra points by going, I stuck with Xbox through the tough times. Right? What the hell does that mean? Does that mean you didn't say anything when they weren't coming out with exclusive games? Like that makes you kind of a clown.
You don't get a medal for that. You don't get a medal.
That makes you kind of a clown. It's not cheating on your girl. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. It's not. I don't understand that line of thought. Like, if Xbox comes out with something great, I have an Xbox,
right?
And I'll play it.
That's right.
Like that to me. Like, I'm not going to not play it. Like, people think you hate Xbox because you're hard on them or whatever. Do you not remember how hard I was on PlayStation?
Oh, pretty rough.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we, as Basement Radio Arcade says, what are we doing?
What are we doing here? Right?
Exactly. It's like, it's crazy that people kind of think that way. Listen, play what you want. If games come out that you enjoy eventually or whatever, or if you're a PlayStation person and you love Bethesda games, and you pick up a cheap Xbox one day when the games come out that warranted. If you're somebody that secretly wanted to play God of War or something, pick up a PlayStation, when it's on sale one day, right? Like, come on. Like, God, just stop. Like, sometimes it just kind of gets silly.
Well, I completely agree. You made a good case there. Shout out to Viper XC. He says, holy damn. He goes, crap. And I both agree on something. 100% pineapple is great on pizza. Capone's getting hungry, by the way. Shout out to Capone. Percolator 9000 says, Mooch, think of it this way. Hear me out. Pineapple is sweet and ham or meat is salty. Best taste ever. Percolator, I can't argue with you, but we can't do another pizza segment. TrueWiddy says, fruit on pizza. I like your crap, but no. Shout out to the great TrueWiddy. And JudaZuk agreed. Wanting better is not hate. And JudaZuk, tell me if I'm right or not. JudaZuk, a big Mooch Maniac family member as well. He likes Xbox. JudaZuk likes Xbox. He's saying, agree, there's nothing wrong with wanting better. There's nothing wrong with that. But crap, I do want to talk about this. We kind of talked about the Bethesda stuff, which I'm sure will come full circle again. But I do want to talk about 343 Industries and the situation here. Because if we're going to talk about Game Pass and we're going to get excited for Game Pass, let's talk about new games, right? So when we're talking about new games, we're talking about the first new game that's really going to go in there that's a hit. It's supposed to be a big-time hit is Halo Infinite. No surprise. Everybody in the chat goes, no kidding. But 343 recently came out and did what I call a miniature documentary, if you will. And shout out to the wise old gamer. He says, Mooch, I'm a Nintendo loyalist. I'm all about overpriced, low-power consoles. I cannot handle the power. Shout out to the wise old gamer. Great to see also another Mooch Maniac family member. Great to see him home and feeling better. Wise old gamer, we're so happy to have you with us, buddy. Thank you. But, I got to be honest with you, crap. Like, is this... We talked about it, but we didn't really dive too deep into it on Friday's Crossfire. Is this something that you've seen what they did? You've seen the interviews now. You've seen the screenshots. We know that that's probably from a PC. It's also different lighting. Like a screenshot for me doesn't tell me that we went from the or the concerns of July 2020 that we've alleviated all the issues and concerns as we move closer to, let's say, December or November of 2021 when releases. So what do you think, Crab? I mean, where are you not only on the interview that you saw in the still pictures, but also where are you on just where 343 development may be with Halo Infinite?
I think that 343 is in a almost lose-lose situation because they have this adamant fan base that really just loves Halo, right? Like I saw one guy get bashed on Twitter, and I didn't partake in this, but he wanted Halo to have a BR mode. Right. And a lot of the people go, oh, well, everybody hates you now because you said you wanted a BR mode, blah, blah, blah. Listen, for me personally, I think that Halo in BR mode would make a lot of sense.
Yes, makes
you. Makes a hell of a lot more sense than some of these other games that do it. I just got to be real with
Royale
you.
Halo, I'm there.
Bring it on. Right? You got vehicles. You got hell yes. You know what I mean?
World? Like, listen, I love Warzone crap. Okay, you know that. But I'm running around looks like I'm running around in like Idaho. Okay, I wouldn't mind having this unbelievable space. Like we're on some sort of moon, and we're having this unbelievable environment. Like you said, vehicles, the weapons, the change of scenery, the armor, the things that we can collect on the walkthrough. It's insane. Like, bring that on, crap. I'm with you.
Yeah. I think that would be great. Like, I'm not going to lie. That might get me vested in Halo multiplayer, right? Like, again, and it makes sense. So I think, and then you have like these people that are huge Halo fans that don't even want things like sprint in the game or aiming down the sights at all. And it's like, do you want Halo to keep continuing to fall off of popularity and things like that? Right? Like, you have to update your stuff. Look at games that have successfully updated what they were doing. They continue to do well. Look, Mortal Kombat updated their stuff. You have God of War. They completely changed that. Would a God of War work the way that they did God of War 3? I don't think it works nearly as well, where some of the fixed camera angles has your guy look like a peanut on the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that, I just think that there's really, sort of ways to go about it. You have to do that. Like, there's tank controls. Look at how Resident Evil has fixed that, right? Remember how bad those tank controls were in the original Resident Evil games, Mooch? Yes. Would those games be nearly as good if they still had them? Like, I don't get that, like, about Gears. I understand Gears is Gears, but why do you still get caught up on stuff and clipped on stuff and those tank controls?
Gears being like, Gears crap doesn't mean they can't progress, right? I mean, they can't progress at all. It's the same, like, very sticky controls. It's just not comfortable. It's not comfortable. It's awkward at this point in time. Like you said, in the Resident Evil example is outstanding. That's a perfect example.
Exactly, right? So anyway, listen, you could do this as well. Like, it's just like Crash Bandicoot 4, like I was saying. You could play the retro way where you have lives, or you can play the more modern way where you die and then you pick up right where you left off. I enjoy that much more. Okay? That's modernized. Like with Gears, why not give people the options? If you want to play old school way with tank controls, fine. But give us something, and I'm an old school Gears fan, but that just doesn't work in 2021, in my opinion, the way that, you know what I'm saying? Like, give us something new, a little bit updated. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You got to have sprint in Halo. You got to, like, so for me, I think 343 is kind of screwed because we've heard all these rumors, right? We heard that they gave the game up, or they really didn't start making the game till 2018. Like, what the hell were they doing the previous years? Like, Halo 5 came. Mooch, let me ask you this question. Do you think literally that studio was doing nothing because Microsoft gave up at that time? Like, I mean, that could be a thing, right?
Great question. I don't know. I mean, we're talking from 2015, right? And the rumors
all the way to 2018.
To 2018. Yeah. What were they doing? I mean, were they just supporting Halo 5 multiplayer? All those people? I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think so either.
There could have been a better use of their time. There's so many people there. I'm going to just do a couple of super chats before I fall behind. Basement Raid Arcade Podcast come back. It says, fanboys are the definition of anti-consumer behavior. If you cap when a company is not delivering, you are part of the problem. Shout out to the great Basement Raid Arcade Podcast. Outstanding point there. That's almost something that you could almost put that into a plaque, Brap. I would almost sell that. Glinser comes out and he says the most diehard fanboys belong to Nintendo. That's true as far as loyalty. I'd attest to that. JD Gamer, let's talk about capping. If you can offer a company constructive criticism, expect to be heard and taken seriously. But just capping, expect nothing. Okay, I think so JD, if I understand what you're saying you can have constructive criticism, but have a valid argument or something to be taken seriously.
I just have to say nothing gets done though if you give constructive criticism once and then it's over with. Unless you have to look at the way when Microsoft tried to double the price of Live 100%, right? That was everybody spoke out. Everybody was pissed off.
Yeah, everybody went
right. That's what you need, right? If everybody did that, then we'd be much better off. But people are so afraid to lose their, the perks of being in with Microsoft, right? So you very rarely see people in the guise of constructive criticism, which is, I complained about no games that one time, right? But it's like, how many times and how many years did you say, wait for this or wait for that or wait for this? Or, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the point. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be a crime to mention, hey, we haven't had a AAA from Xbox in 555 days. Okay,
Right.
like that's like people. If everybody was demanding better, we might have got something. They might have paid better, closer attention. You know what I mean? But if everybody's sitting there I can turn around what you said against you a little bit. You got people capping for what Microsoft put out last year, and they didn't put out a AAA the entire year. But I can guarantee you, someone like me or a hardcore gamer wasn't happy with the slate of Battletoads and Tell Me Why and Wasteland 3. I mean, that's a multi-plat, but Microsoft Studios released it. Like, people want big AAA experiences, and especially with the new console. But Microsoft might not know what's happening because maybe the bigger channels, that love Xbox, they're sitting there saying how great a year Xbox had with the games they released.
Right.
And to somebody like me, I'm sitting there going, well, they didn't really release anything great. They released a bunch of mid stuff. So again, Microsoft isn't going to pay attention to me. They're going to pay attention to the bigger personality or whatever that's sitting there capping, saying, "Great job, Microsoft."
Right.
If those people were being honest and saying, "Man, you guys really dropped the ball. You guys should have released some exclusives," then I think we would have been much better. That's my opinion on it. No,
I think that holds water.
Yeah.
It really does. Snakes comes back. He says, "Hell, I want Halo to have battle royale mode. It would be amazing." I think it really would. I think it would really shine in that world, right? Dr. Shrivera. I'm saying it wrong. Doesn't matter. I love it. He says, Dr. Shrivera says, "Great show, Mooch. Hope you look up my podcast sometime. Would be great having you as a guest. I spoke how Jim Ryan might end up stealth ruining PS5. I would absolutely, buddy. Get a hold of me on Twitter and we'll definitely discuss it." Shout out to the great Dr. Shreva, if I'm saying it right. Snake's back again. Ooh. The great Snakes. He says, "Sprint, ADS, amazing graphics, and free-to-play. Key." He nails it again. Absolutely nails it. The great Wise Old Gamer here in the Super Chat. Thank you so much, the Wise Old Gamer. He says, "Many fanboys of games actually do not want commercial success. In fact, many fanboys leave a game when it achieves this success. Look at Diablo." It's funny, boy. That's deep. But it means he's got a point. Sometimes people like playing games that don't hit mainstream media. I used to hear this more crap in the music industry. You remember? I heard this from some. Korn. They play like hardcore. Yeah. So they used to be like underground, right? Like they didn't do mainstream. They were hardcore underground music. And then they got picked up and they were on MTV and it got big and this and that and they went like mainstream. And then their songs went from like this is some of the fans that told me this. I knew some people that really used to go see I was like, who are they? They were like, oh, we used to go to all these like underground, like, they used to do all kinds of different shows and blah, blah, blah. And it was really hardcore. And then they got a little bit more chill as they got more mainstream. And they said, I don't really like that band anymore because they're not the Korn that they used to be. They become mainstream. So there are certain people, crap, like the Wise Old Gamer saying is that as games become more of a success, fanboys will leave that game when it achieves that success. And he's saying Diablo is an example of that. So I don't know if, that resonates with you.
I mean, I'm not a Diablo fan, but okay. So I'll give you a good example, right? Like, Hellhammer.
Yes.
He's a big Metallica fan. I'm a big Metallica fan.
Okay.
He likes Metallica stuff pre the Black Album, right? Like all the really kind of like hardcore, like that, like they were like garage band sounding. I like stuff pretty much after the Black Album, which was like when they really went into the studio and put their mind for it. He thinks they sold out or whatever. And a lot of people consider that new Metallica. Yeah. Like I really prefer the newer stuff. Right, because it actually sounds like they put in some effort and stuff, and he's like, "Oh no, they sold out or stuff like that." You know what I mean? Like, I can't listen to the thrashier stuff from the earlier days, but I do like the newer stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I totally do understand what you're saying with that. Like I get it. So yeah, I agree. I think that could be a thing.
Absolutely. Shout out to Jose Vasquez. Thank you so much. He's I believe Jose says he lives in Puerto Rico. For some reason in Puerto Rico they can't participate in the super chats, but he donated to the channel, so thank you for that. I appreciate that, Jose. But yeah, I think that's an interesting point that the Wise Old Gamer makes, and you backed it up with Hellhammer's statement on Metallica. That's the same thing I was saying with Korn. Like there's just people who feel like once success is reached that the tune and the audience might change, and I think there is something to that. And then there's another topic here, crap, that I wanted to get into, and like I said, I was having this great discussion before the show went live. And, they've been doing these PS5 and Xbox Series X performances on Digital Foundry, and there's a bunch of other channels that do this as well. And now the latest game that come out was Mortal Shell. And I'm just stating My opinion, guys. Okay, this is not anything to lead you guys in any direction at all. It's just my opinion. But another one comes out where they show very clearly, I will give credit where credit's due. Okay, the Xbox Series X is performing at about 1800p, and I believe the PS5 is 1400p. Now, they did say, or 1440p, but they did say that the developers came out and said that they will have a patch out this week or in the very near future. Let me not put words in their mouth, but the very near future, that will bring the PS5 game of Mortal Shell up to 1800p resolution, the exact same as the Xbox. That's something that they just said that slipped by them. I don't know how it did, but it did. But the other parts of, I know. But the other parts of the game that were being reviewed, as far as
forgot.
I completely forgot about how it would look. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I don't know. I don't know crap. I don't know. Sometimes I wish I got into that business because you can do whatever you want. But anyway, the performance, the texture pop-ins, holding at a lock 60, those three categories seemingly went to the PS5. Now, some people are saying on the other side of the coin that once the PS5 gets the 1800p boost, that Digital Foundry is going to have to go back in and they're going to have to do a newest analysis because technically, we've seen this before. Once resolution does go up, you could, doesn't mean you will, but you could encounter problems with frame rate and pacing and texture pop-ins, et cetera, which is what the Xbox is having. Again, none of these things are major issues either. I'm just saying, at times, the Xbox, I think Series X dips below 60 more often than the PlayStation 5, and there's texture pop-ins where they said they didn't see that on the PS5 very much at all, and on the Xbox, it takes 2-3 seconds when you approach a character or a tree or you're outside and there's a some sort of greenery area. It could take a while for 2 to 3 seconds for the textures to pop in, which you could sit there and say that doesn't matter. I don't really care when Xbox comes in 2 or 3 frames below, or even 5 or 6 frames below the 60 frames. I don't care. I don't notice that as a gamer. I don't think you do either. But I will say this much, crap. When I was playing through on the Medium, okay, the Medium had the same issue where, like, when you were looking at items you picked up, or it was a zoom in on something, or if it was a new cutscene, it could take up to 3 to 5 seconds for some of the details on the jacket or the item to start to come on screen. And you could say that doesn't bother you, but that's where I say, to me, that's BS. Because here we are in 2021 with very powerful machines. There's no reason that texture pop-ins like that should be happening. If it happens in one area at one time at one part of the game, I don't care. If it's all the time on every cutscene or every item you pick up and it's something you have to like research and look at, that's annoying. I think that's annoying at this point. So this is, I hope I've done justice to the video that I watched from Digital Foundry. I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff. But where are you, crap, on this now where, the PlayStation 5 is really, for the most part, there is always, a counter argument. But the PS5 really has held its end of the bargain for being the weaker console this generation. Would you not say? On paper, anyway?
Yeah, I mean, considering how weak it was supposed to be, and it's like a lot of people were like RDNA this or RDNA that and don't even really know what it means. I mean, listen, it seems like Mark Cerny and company got a lot out of their console, a lot more than what people thought. I mean, if you paid attention to that kind of, I guess, boring deep dive back in March of last year, he basically said, the compute units don't matter, the teraflops don't matter. It really comes down to, how you kind of build this and blah, blah, blah. And it looks like developers are taking really close advantage of it. It's super easy to develop for. I think that has something to do with it too. So coming off of last generation, if you're used to developing for the PS4, they make it super easy to develop on the PS5. It's very similar. So I think that all really kind of goes into kind of play here. Who knows what the deal is on the Xbox side. I thought all along, and I was saying this, because everybody was saying, there's going to be such a big difference. But developers themselves were saying this is the shortest gap in power between a competing Xbox and PlayStation platform.
Yeah, I saw
that. I always kind of took what actual developers who work on games were saying over people who have never worked on games and have never worked on a console. You know what I mean? Because just because you have some familiarity with PC, or maybe you built the PC, doesn't mean that you know how things are going to work in a closed environment like a console, right? Like let's just be real. A closed console had the same power as a, open PC is probably going to favor, games built specifically for it by a developer over an open PC format. Now, before people go, oh, he's saying console. No, I'm saying if you take a console at the same spec as a PC, and developers are developing specifically for that console version is probably going to be better than what you could do on the PC, because the PC's got to do a lot of other stuff too. It's like an open platform. So that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yes, if you want to spend the money on a PC, you can far outperform the consoles. I'm not saying otherwise. I'm just saying taking the same things next to each other and then having developers build specifically for that console, it's going to outperform it. So, that's just the way these kind of things goes. Like, a lot of people just like, unless you're into, that hardware engineering or built games or know about these things, I just think that it's better, probably just to take the developer's word for it themselves. Like, that's how I do it anyway. So, I mean, I guess it's really up to everybody else. So, I mean, if you want to believe somebody else and then be let down, like for me, I'm not let down. I knew that these things were going to be close.
Crap. Can we just talk about the obvious for a minute here? Like, whether we're talking about
what are we doing here?
What are we doing here? No, but let's talk about the obvious for a second, Crap. Whether it's a few frames on either console, or it's a couple of pixels on either console. I said this before the consoles came out. And guys in the chat, hear me out, please. No matter which console you prefer more, just hear me out. We were hearing that the Xbox was on paper, and by the way, it is on paper, a very powerful machine. And I'm actually enjoying the Xbox. I am. But I want to say this much. If the PlayStation 5, which on paper is inferior to it, then I look at this as a major win for the Sony camp. Even if the PS5 version falls just slightly below, and we said this before, Crap, 4K 60 is what majority of people are playing games at. And the TVs you're going out to buy these days, not everybody is. Listen, I bought a CX. I blame Crap for that. But I bought a CX. I'm enjoying it. By the way,
I told you, it's smooth, man.
Listen, it really is. It's, if you got it within your means, go and enjoy that. But majority of people don't have a CX. You see people online saying, "Oh, I got a CX. I got a CX. Everybody must have a CX." They don't. They don't.
Yeah.
So my point being is this: if your TV's doing 4K 60, and you see all these games that are coming out and they're being reviewed and they're being diagnosed, if you will, by Digital Foundry, like if these games are getting to 1800p and they're hitting anywhere from 55 to 60 frames religiously, and the textures are at least medium to, on the dealing with the computer side of things. They're not going to be ultra or high. They're usually medium to high. Sometimes they're low, but still, they look very good because they're optimized for the consoles. So my point being is that that's a big win for the PlayStation. And listen, if I was part of the PlayStation engineering team and I'm seeing that I'm either beating out or just coming in just under the Xbox, and the Xbox put all of this heavy equipment into that bad boy, that's a win. It's a win for Sony because they did it with not the exact same parts. I don't know. Listen, again, I'm just saying it's great conversation. It's great conversation. And I don't think it matters because most people,
like, I mean, if you just have a 4K 60 or something,
right,
or maybe even a 4K 120 or whatever, you know what I mean? You're probably good. Like, you could probably do well with the Series S even, or, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get the frame rate, but, you're not going to have to worry about, like, the full 4K or whatever like that. Even some people have 1080p, 60 hertz or whatever. You're still going to get full advantage of the frame rate. But it's like, for me personally, unless you do have something that supports like VRR and 4K 120 like the CXs, which those TVs are few and far between, by the way.
They are now.
You know what I mean? Because you need HDMI 2.1.
You know why? Because
people buying them up.
Well, people are doing their homework. They're doing their due diligence. You're correct on they're buying them up, but there's a reason that they're buying the CXs up left and right now. And a friend of mine, I told him this, and he ended up grabbing one, but he didn't get it when it was on sale. I said, listen, these are on sale this weekend. I got it for a great price. Out there, hashtag mooching. But nonetheless, hear me out, Crap. The reason being is the C1, I believe it's called the C. There's a C1 and G1 coming out, which is going to be the next iteration, right, Nova?
Yep, that's C1.
Yeah.
And I just want to add
C1.
I also have a CX.
So the MNC show as a family has the CX. We are seeing things very clear and very smooth, according to Crap Gamer. That being said,
that was a hell of a thing talking the wife into that, because I was like, well, I got to get a PS5 and Xbox Series X, and I also got to get this big OLED TV. She's like, what do you need that for? I was like, well, I can't properly convey how good the new consoles are unless I have a TV that can really properly play those. You know what I mean?
Excuse.
Oh,
Outstanding crap.
Yeah, that's basically how I did it.
I hope you were wearing glasses and you were taking them on and off as you were giving the speech. You know what I mean? Really getting into that whole I was like, analysis?
Yeah, I was like, you know, from a technical analysis standpoint, you know, how can I deliver my what I'm trying to explain when it comes to these new consoles and things like that
without this kind of television?
Yes. Yeah. If I don't have this TV, and she was like, oh well, yeah, you know, I guess we should definitely get that. Yeah, that's basically how that works.
You should probably write a book for all married people, that they can, you know, how to get an expensive television with these few words. All right, nonetheless.
That was how I did it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm impressed. But I want to get back to my C1 conversation with JD Gamer here. I think he's agreeing with you. I'm not sure. I didn't read it in full. He says, if you won't say it, I will crap. He says, PCs haven't always outperformed consoles. AKA, I believe he's saying, or Olive, pardon me, scrolling textures, NES era, early 3D, first 2 years of Xbox 360 era. Just saying. He's right there. The 360 was kind of doing a curb stomp on a lot of the on the PCs.
Yeah.
Wasn't it taking
over? And then
over?
They cheaped out with Xbox One. Yeah, then they cheaped out a little bit with the Xbox One and PS4. Yeah. Like they were years behind or whatever, you know what I mean? Like we got 2010 parts in 2013 consoles.
So,
you know,
I do want to get back to the TV thing real quick. So the C1s, the reason Crap was right, by the way. Glinster says Crap researcher. Absolutely. I'm waiting for that book to come out. But the C1s that are coming out in 2021 are going to be a high price, and they're not going to offer much more than the CX. What is it, Nova? If you don't mind, can you elaborate? Yeah. Is the C1 only going to have like a better processor?
Yeah,
or what is?
We're really just seeing a better processor, a little bit higher peak HDR brightness. Really not that much. Ideally, you'd want over 1,000 nits, which the new Sony OLEDs, like Guapzilla saying in the comments, are hitting really high nits, like brightness, HDR peak brightness, but the price you're getting, it's really not worth it to enjoy.
The Sony OLEDs are amazing, but the problem is like what Guapzilla is saying, that like that $4,000 price tag is just not sitting well with the American family, or probably any family. That's expensive. And you know, nowadays people don't want to own a TV for. Shout out to the wise old gamer. He says, my wife loves the C9. It's big enough to hide both consoles behind them. I saw your picture of that, by the way, wise old gamer. But I do want to say this much. Like nobody back in the day, you like this? Back in the day, people used to hold their TVs for 7 to 9 years, Crap. That's not happening. Mm-hmm. Every 3 to 4 years, people want a new TV. So what do? They buy it. But it's got to be affordable.
Yeah.
What's the new affordable? From what I'm hearing from people, I think people will be okay with somewhere between, for a 55-inch to 65-inch television, OLED, I think they're okay with going as high, if it's brand spanking new, as almost around 2,000, maybe 1,700, 1,800 for a 65-inch.
Yeah.
People, right? And they'll go as low, 1,200 probably, 1,200 to 1,500 for a brand new 55-inch. I'm going OLED here, folks. So don't think these numbers are astronomical. It is what it is. Captain Zippo says LG is the king. I've got, so just to go with the wise old gamer, I have an E7. I have a 65-inch E7 in the family room, and then I have my 55-inch CX in the office here, where now I record. I do a lot of my gaming now in the office. I have my consoles in here and the PC. I have the PC hooked up to it. By the way, Crap, even the PC, I also ran a line to the CX. It's glorious. It doesn't matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
So now I can kind of PC
it
game
is
on
great.
a TV.
I told Mooch. Yeah, I told Mooch, I was like, after I started gaming on the OLED, you can't really go back. And people that were worried about like burning and stuff, that's just not a thing. I don't like. I mean, you would literally, I think, have to leave something there for like 20 straight hours or something. Like honestly, I check mine every day. There's never, and I watch TV a lot where I'll go to bed and fall asleep with it on. There's like a little logo in the corner. That shit never burns in. It never has an issue. It's just a really, really clean picture. Yeah, it's just a really clean picture. And like I said, thanks to like the built-in like VRR and all that kind of stuff in those, everything just seems much smoother. Right? Like I play Call of Duty and that's 120 frames per second or whatever. Most games feel almost that smooth, even if they're only 60 frames, because it just works. You know what I mean? So trust me when I say, those, and Mooch, you could pick up a 55-inch one of those for like $1,200, $1,300 sometimes So
That's
you know,
right.
those are incredibly great deals to be able to game, because I still had a I know people probably make fun of this, but you know, I still had my original my Samsung KS8000 from years ago, and then I also had
belittle that. That was a hell of a TV for its time. Crap, that had everything. It
was.
Come on, that was great.
Yeah, yep. And then I also had a 4K TCL that right now is in the family room, and we got some of the old school consoles hooked up to it, like the 360 and PS3 and you know, stuff like that. So you know, everybody likes to, believe it or not, man, everybody loves VR. Man, they just like it's a big family thing here. It's
everybody's
like, you know,
coming around.
Hey, let's play some VR. Everybody loves the VR here. Even my wife, she was not even a gamer, man. I got her own Switch for Christmas, and she plays Animal Crossing all the damn time.
You've made a gamer out of her.
I finally got my town back. I did. I finally got my damn town back too. You know what I mean? And
not easy.
You know, she likes VR, and she likes the Switch, and you know, she likes like stuff like Animal Crossing and like, you know, probably what we would consider shovelware, like Jeopardy or, you know, Wheel of Fortune, or, you know what I'm saying? She likes stuff like Brain Teasers or whatever, you know what I mean? But whatever, she's gaming, and, you know, I think that's really cool. So
let me do a couple of quick shout outs here. Shout out to Rated D Demonic, Mooch Maniac family. He says, afternoon, boys, listening to the show while watching golf sports. Wishing you both a great Sunday. Thank you. I appreciate that. And great the Zombilla Ice Cream, another Mooch Maniac family member. Guys, by the way, right above the description is the join button. If you do want to become a Mooch Maniac family member, I truly would appreciate it. Definitely helps the channel out. You can see we list everybody down below there, and I read you off every single Friday night. But great to have Zombilla. He goes, how can you not like the MNC show? Video games, sports, pizza, television. He got it all. Zombilla Ice Cream.
That's what I'm saying.
Nailed it. JD Gamer comes back. He says, now this is interesting. He says Sony used to be the number one in TVs, and their high prices without major difference between other brands, and then flat out not looking as good as others equals bankrupt. Well, so here's the thing. That's interesting that you end it with bankrupt. I will say this much, JD. I am actually shocked. I kind of agree with JD a bit. I'm shocked. I thought when I saw Sony's prices with their OLEDs crap, I thought they were going to bring it down. Eventually, I said, okay, maybe they got that. Because I think when it comes down to it, and guys, please, I don't pretend to be in the tech world here with this, okay? But it's all about the dyes. And there's the blue dye, right? There's a blue dye and a white dye. Nova, stop me here if I'm wrong, if you know about this.
I'm listening.
I know you pay attention to this. But the reason Sony's OLEDs, I think, do beat LG a lot of the times in the competitions is they have this certain blue dye with their technology that's outstanding, but it's uber expensive. Yep. Uber expensive, which is why their TVs are so expensive. And listen, it's one of those situations like I was just saying with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, okay, guys, where you're like, oh, Mooch is making a good point. Wait, did he just make the same comparison with the PlayStation 5? Oh, I can't agree with him. You have to. To the human eye, it doesn't matter. You get to a certain point where you can't tell me your mortal shell at 1800p to the 1440p is ruining your experience. You can't tell me that you have a Sony OLED, right, that you paid $4,000 for, and then there's a CX that somebody paid $1,500 for, and that you're enjoying it immensely more than they are. It's just not accurate. Plus, you'd have to have the TVs touching each other next to each other to see the difference. You can't be at your house and go look at your friend's TV and then come back over to your house and go, oh, I see the difference. No, you don't. No, you don't. You'd have to have both Mortal Shell games playing on your Xbox Series X and your PlayStation 5 next to each other to see anything, maybe if you could even see it. And the same thing goes for these TVs. And that's why, same thing with Guabzilla's saying, you can't go over that $2,000 price tag. You can't. Because that's when you start to lose people. People just not interested in paying over $2,000 for a TV set, for the most part. I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm just saying for the most part. So that's why LG is dominating in the market. They are lower price. Hear me out, guys. They're lower price, and they're pretty much the same thing. And what sounds like that? PS5 digital is $100 less than the Xbox, and it's either on par, above, or in certain cases, a smidgen below the output performance of the Series X on third-party games so far.
I just want to add
can change.
Let's be clear. You know, these companies in Korea, LG and Samsung specifically, they do most of the manufacturing for these panels, period, right? Samsung is pumping out panels like crazy, and other companies are actually buying panels from them. And I don't really agree with the sentiment when it comes to bankrupt. No, like Sony, they know that where their bread is buttered, right? It's gaming, it's in in TVs. It's not as big as it used to be, of course. And then, of course, cameras, right? They're killing it in the camera sector, right? Most people's phones have a Sony sensor in it. Yeah, and on the digital camera market, they're killing it. They have been for years. So while they might not be number one on displays, they got other segments that they're using.
So shout out to Capone. He says here, why can't Sony figure out, pardon me, VRR? And so from what I've heard, I just wrote to Capone too in the chat. Apparently they're working on it. And I mean, Capone, I've heard that from a number of people now. And I even heard, I believe Digital Foundry, I think when they were doing their Neo 2 remaster analysis, they discussed it to a certain degree. And again, there's questions here. I'm not saying it's happening, but I've heard that they have an update coming in the future. When that future is, I don't know. Could it be summer? Yeah. Could it be winter? I don't know. But apparently they are going to have that update coming at some point, I would assume in 2021. Now, should they have had it day one? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's certain things Sony definitely dropped the ball on. A lot of things. I think that the UI needs a bit of fine attunement as well. Just saying that out loud. I think reaching your friends and getting to your friends list on PS5 is a bit cumbersome. It's not awful, but it's a bit cumbersome, right? Yeah. It's a little cumbersome.
Well, yeah, I don't understand. It's like I like the fact that they refreshed the UI and all that kind of stuff, but it just doesn't seem as cut and dry, easy to do things like it was on the PS4 one, like where you would hold in the PlayStation button and then you could turn off your PlayStation that way. Now you gotta tap the button, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? And then then you go over to the thing. I don't know. It's just kind of a bit painful.
I don't know why
I mean, that's all stuff that they can fix. Yeah,
that's it, exactly. And the thing about it is, so Xbox, this is the thing. So Xbox didn't really give a new UI. It's the carryover from Xbox One. Like I said, I have an Xbox One.
Yeah, the beta, constantly in beta UI.
It's still in beta. It's still in beta. It's the never ending beta. But nonetheless, that's fine. So when you do revamp and do something new, you're going to get some things you like, and you're going to get some things you don't like. Now, the question is this: how soon can Sony, get in there and fix it? Like, don't take 10 years to do it. Don't take an entire generation to do it. A. B.
Yeah.
Listen to what people are saying, and sometimes if it's not broke, you don't fix it. And that's what Microsoft was saying basically when it comes to the UI. Right now, they are at a point where they're happy with their UI. Myself as a consumer and being a customer of Microsoft's, I'm okay with their UI because now I'm familiar with it. I would say if I could please tell Microsoft, please don't change it drastically again. If you want to fine-tune things, please, go ahead. But don't drastically change the UI anymore. We're good. It's there. It's becoming easier and easier to use and find and locate everything. Leave it alone. Sony, they went ahead and changed everything. I say, Sony, you have a lot of people telling you what you did right, a lot of things that you did wrong in the UI. Take those things you did wrong, look at what you had with the PS4 for easy accessibility for customers and gamers, and put those functions back into the UI the way you used to have them. JD Gamer says, Samsung had OLED TVs before and used the Sony method. It was never adopted by LG because of cost, and it doesn't last as long, so your TV dies quicker. That's interesting. People kept on saying to me all the time, Mooch, should I get a QLED? I said no. Day one. I still say no. No. You're right around the same ballpark of money, crap. Why would you not get a CX or get an LG?
Yep, I would just say go for the OLED, yeah.
Go for the OLED LG. Don't get the QLED. I think what JD there is saying is true. That's what I found out is it's the lifeline. The lifeline of them, they didn't last as long, or the quality output started to diminish. These are things I heard. I'm not doing a Mooch Tech channel anytime soon. It's fine. We're just talking about it.
Yep.
I want to say
like Wabzilla says. He says TX already has VRR. Why pay more and still wait? Listen. Like I said, it has built-in VRR. So again, it's like it's sort of there and kind of does that.
Okay, so here's my question, and I don't know the answer to it. I'm asking the question. Maybe JD can answer it. Maybe Wabzilla. Maybe even Nova. My question is if the TV has VRR, the console still has to have that capability as well to pump out, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So PS5 does not have VRR, so your TV having it crap doesn't help you. With the Xbox, it certainly does.
Yeah, like I get VRR using my computer. Like when I play Cyberpunk, which is my only PC game, I definitely have VRR enabled. It works flawlessly. So it's not necessarily a 2.1 feature.
I have not noticed a screen tear on the next gen consoles so far for me personally on this TV.
Okay, on the TV. Okay, yeah, no, I can't speak to that. Before I had my CX though, when I was using the E7, so I'm going to repeat that again so people hear it because they're going to go, wait a minute, the CX doesn't do that. I thought, Mooch. I'm talking about the E7 OLED that I had from years back. I did play Valhalla on the Xbox Series X, and there was good amount of screen tearing. But again, my E7 didn't have the VRR capability. So, that being said, or whatever it is, V-Sync, G-Sync, all the syncs. The syncs were included.
Yeah, all of them.
CX, yes. All the syncs. Kitchen sink, too.
Kitchen sink.
Yes, every sync.
Yes. That's important.
Of course it is when you get a buy crap. What kind of house would you buy without all the syncs? So, I think we've had an outstanding show, crap, to be honest with you.
I think it's been a pretty good show considering, we had to fast forward an hour that we lose. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it's been a fantastic show, and everybody, audience has been great. I thought we had good topics, talked about gaming. There was very no fanboying or anything like that. Just good topics, good chats, good interactions and stuff like that. And everybody, please share it out, like the video. Yes. It's always really like the best thing that you can do, content creator, is actually like the videos because everybody we get up and like Nova does a lot of hard work to come in here, and Mooch does a lot of work. I do a lot of hard work, so just really appreciate it and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And we hope to catch you guys later.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I want to say like over 300 people that stayed here with us, and again, we haven't really been advertising the show. That's shame on us, but we are going to now. Nova's all set up. Nova's comfortable. He's got everything going.
Let's make some.
We were just waiting. Go ahead, Nova.
No, let's make some advertisement videos. I'm down to
absolutely.
Do that.
That's what we're going to work on that over the course of the week. Want you guys to know that 11:45. I like how that's our start time, right? 11:45.
Yeah.
Like nobody has that start time ever. Like ever. Even the Tonight Show goes on at 11:35. We're like, no, add 10 minutes to it.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's us, man. Way. Yeah. Absolutely. We like to be different. That being said, I want to thank everybody. The super chats. You guys are all fantastic. Again, right above that description is the join button. If you would graciously consider becoming a Mooch Maniac family member, it truly does help. Every little bit helps. And look for what's going on here with Nova getting voicemails. We're going to have a new set either next week or the week after. Hopefully it's next week. I'll work with Nova over the course of the week. Yeah, we'll get a couple promo ads out there, right, Nova? We'll get some things going. It shouldn't take too long.
No, definitely not.
And I want to say shout out to Cool Hand Cruz, who really helped out with the amazing, love the thumbnail. Thank you so much for that. Guys, please do like the show, tweet it out, subscribe to the channel, support the Mooch. Go check out Crossfire and go check out my latest video that I did on Thursday. Again, it's a little bit older now with the news that we know from the roundtable, but it still puts the Bethesda Xbox deal into perspective, and it gave a couple of scenarios that there are still some lingering questions out there. So we tackle a couple of the questions in that video as well. And I do have an Outriders video that I'm putting together hopefully for sometime this week. I've got all the footage now. There's Nova dropping the number. It's 702-900-NOVA. That's 6682. I feel like I'm selling knives. But listen, nonetheless, great show. Crap nailed it. Enjoy your Sunday. There's not a lot of sports out there, but do what you can to kind of pass it by. I'll be playing Outriders. I'll be playing Warzone later today. If you see me online, jump in, say hello, say what's up, and I'll see you guys on Twitter. Nova, take us out of here, buddy.
All right.